Hi, everyone. Nice to see you. Good, happy Friday. Um, we can begin right where we are seated, or if you're on your backs, you can stay right there. But if you are in a seat, you can be cross-legged or you can be on your heels. And we're just going to start cultivating some breath while we sit here and kind of stretch and open up our throat and our shoulders. So you can keep your eyes closed, you can keep them gently open, or you can keep them open if you like, but whatever feels safe for you. Maybe start with your hands to your heart and a nice little head bow, starting with a nice namaste. And then we can breathe. So take a deep breath through your nose and open up. Let your head drop back here. And then exhale your hands to your heart. So we're going to do this a few times. So just kind of like getting our pranayama, our life force. So inhale slowly, and then exhale. Let's do that 3 more times, but kind of move a little slower each time. So inhale, filling up your lungs, holding, and then exhale out of your mouth. 2 more times. Inhale, hold, and then exhale. Hands to your heart. 1 more time. Inhale, hold, and then release. And then from here, we can go into a wide-kneed child's pose. So toes together, knees apart. And if child's pose just isn't for you, if you're at home, you can use a pillow under your seat. You can use a block under your forehead, or you can just stay on your back. Otherwise, you can just let your chest and your forehead melt into the mat. Let your fingertips be nice and wide. And here, kind of just notice what you're feeling right now. Tune in. Maybe you have some tension in your jaw. You can just loosen your jaw, let it go. Maybe you have tension in your head. You can kind of rock your forehead back and forth on the mat. It's in your hips. Just kind of notice that and honor your hip space here. And keep breathing in child's pose. So inhaling through your nose, inhaling all the good stuff, and then exhaling all the bad, toxic waste, toxic thoughts. Just let that go here in your child's pose. Continuing to breathe here, maybe stretching your fingertips a little bit farther up as you breathe and inhale, and then when you exhale, kind of letting your hips bend back a little bit more. So the first few minutes of class, I kind of just like to connect with your inner self here. So whatever thoughts or feelings or emotions you're carrying in right before, try to just let that go here and give yourself the next 45 minutes of self-care and self-love, connecting with your breath. On your next inhale, you might want to walk your fingertips to the right corner of the mat so you're stretching the left side of your body. Your head can come with it. Getting a nice little stretch on the left rib cage muscles, your intercostal muscles. One deep breath here. Exhaling to sink into that stretch. And inhale, travel your fingertips to the left corner of the mat so your right palm can be on your left palm, stretching the right side of your body. Breathe into this right side. And then inhale back to center. And then just gently push yourself up, but keep your lower half like you're in child's. And we're going to do a thread the needle in child's pose. So bring your right arm up to the sky. You can twist your wrist around a little bit. And then exhale, send it through underneath your left arm, stretching your right shoulder muscle. Your left arm can be extended overhead. You can also half bind if you want to put your left arm behind, like looping into your right thigh, if you can do that, or just place it on your back if you want to get more of a shoulder stretch. Stay here for 3 breaths. Feel that nice relief. And if ever I'm giving you a pose that's uncomfortable for you, absolutely just skip it and just sit in child's pose or Shavasana. You're still doing yoga. One more breath here. Exhale to slowly come out of that. Gently bring your arm up. Just do another little wrist twist. And then release that down. And then the left side. So left arm, you can look up at your fingertips, move your wrists around a little bit. And then exhale, send that underneath like you're a needle threading through. Inhale to lengthen your arm a little bit and exhale to sink into this nice shoulder stretch. Try to let something go here, any tension you're feeling. Just notice that. Just breathe into it. Maybe one more breath here. And then slowly bring yourself up. Another, move your wrists around. And then just put yourself back into a child's pose for just a breath here. Just going to move slow the first part of class. Just breathe in your child's. And on your next inhale, come up into a tabletop pose. So wrists under shoulders, knees under your hips, back is flat. Your gaze can be between your fingertips. And then we're going to just take some cows and some cats here. So on an inhale, drop your belly down and let your gaze look all the way up at the ceiling. Your throat is open, your heart is open. And then exhale, navel to spine, chin to chest. Let your head hang here. And then inhale, belly drops, tail rises, heart is open. And exhale back into cat. And inhale, cow. And as always, I like to invite some freedom movement here. So kind of just let your body move exactly the way you need it to move. So maybe your hips are rocking back and forth. Maybe they're rocking in circles. Maybe you're jump roping your spine, so to speak. Just let the breath move you and just communicate with your body and just feel what you need to feel. Let your head shake back and forth. You can also twist your hands back so your wrists are facing forward for a nice little release there. You can stretch your leg back, just kind of like gently warming up our bodies here. And to keep breathing through this. So with each inhale, you're still bringing your heart forward. Exhale, you're still hunching your back. Just organically move with what your body wants here. So do this about 3 more breaths. Exhaling to release something. Then eventually, when you're done and you feel nice and evened out, find some stillness in your tabletop. And then we're going to do just a little core activation and a little balance challenge and a pose called uh, sunbird. So ground into your right palm and then bring your left arm up like you're shaking someone's hand. Keep your gaze just right on your yoga mat. And then bring your right leg up and keep your toes flexed down. So inhale to reach. Exhale, bring your elbow to your knee. And then inhale, reach. Exhale, elbow to knee. One more time. Inhale, reach. Exhale, release. You can kind of shake your right wrist out a little bit here. Maybe do another cow and a cat to transition. And then we will set up on the other side. So ground into your left palm, right arm raises, left foot out, toes pointing down. Inhaling to reach. Exhaling, elbow to knee, hunching your back like a cat. Inhale, reach. Heart is open like in cow. Exhale, cat spine. One more time. Inhale, reach. Exhale, back in a tabletop. Send your hips back for another child's pose. Breathe in child's pose for maybe like 15 seconds. I'll let you know when it's time to move again. Release, let go with whatever exhale you have. And then on your inhale, push yourself back up into tabletop. Again, we're moving mindfully in the beginning of class, well, throughout all of class. But so inhale, tuck your toes, and then exhale, send your hips up for downward facing dog. Your first down dog, your knees can be bent here. Just let your head be loose. Let your fingertips be spread far apart and kind of like you're gripping onto your mat, kind of like a tree frog. That's how I like to think about it. So just maybe shake your head yes and no. Look at maybe each armpit, get a nice stretch of your neck. Maybe walk your dog, pedal your legs out. And then find some stillness here. Maybe inhale onto your tippy toes and then exhale, letting your heels plant into the mat. And let's breathe here. So take a deep inhale through your nose. And then exhale, heels down. Heart is closer to your upper thighs. A couple more breaths here. Head is nice and heavy. In your next inhale, walk your hands back to your feet. And then exhale yourself into a forward fold. So just your feet can be 2 fists apart here. Let your tail be high. Your knees can be bent here. You can grab opposite elbows for ragdoll. And if you're in ragdoll, you can sway back and forth like a pendulum. Just getting that nice low back release here. Maybe with each inhale, kind of straighten your legs a little bit more, and then exhale to kind of let your head hang heavier. Still breathing, still hanging. If you're in ragdoll, you can release your hands to the ground. And then inhale for a halfway lift. So your hands are on your calves and your shins. Your back is flat. Exhale, release again into a forward fold. And then inhale, slowly rise. Take your time here, one vertebrae at a time. Let your chin be into your chest. And eventually you're standing in mountain. So in mountain, we can inhale our hands up to the sky, kind of like we did in the beginning. Exhale, hands to heart. We're going to move slow with our breath here. Take your time. So inhale, reach, breathe, breathe, and exhale. One more time for the freedom breathing. Inhale, reach, and exhale. Inhale your hands up to the sky. Grab your left wrist with your right hand, and then bring yourself over to the right for like a banana pose, opening up here. So breathe here. And if you want more of a stretch, you can bring your left foot behind your right, creating that crescent shape. You can pull your wrist with your right. Just keep breathing here. And then come back to center. You can kind of keep your feet a little separate, do like a baby back bend, just let your head drop back. Maybe you can open up to goalpost arms. And then inhale, come back up. Grab your right wrist with your left hand. Inhale to reach, pull it up. Exhale to release to the left. Again, option to bring your right foot behind your left for more of a stretch. Kind of pull your wrist. And then inhale back to center. You can separate your feet a little bit, and we're going to do a couple little back bends. So inhale, look up. Exhale, drop back. You can goalpost your arms here. Just let yourself be free here. Maybe open up to angel wings. Inhale, slowly come up. And then exhale your hands to your heart. And then we will do a supported back bend. So hands behind, like you're putting them in pockets. Let your elbows try to meet each other. I know that that won't happen, but let your chest be open. And then from here, you can really do the full expression with your hand support. So just let yourself, your heart be open, your chest be open. And then inhale, slowly come back up. Back to mountain. And from here, I invite you to close your eyes and just breathe. Maybe set an intention for yourself or for somebody, or just sit in silence, just honoring the stillness, giving yourself gratitude. And then when you're ready, you can gently open your eyes. Inhale your hands up. Exhale your hands to your heart. And then one more time, inhale, hands up. Exhale, fold. And then walk yourself into a high plank position. So wrists under shoulders, back is flat, shoulders are spread apart. You can be on your knees here too. We're going to stay here for 3 breaths. So inhale, pushing away. Exhale, stay. More core activating here. One more breath. Then exhale, drop your knees, your chest and your chin, and keep your tail in the air. This is 8-limbed pose. And exhale, push yourself into like a supported up dog or a cobra. Let your head fall back here. And then exhale back into a child's pose. Stay in your child's pose for at least 3 breaths. Nice, long, deep yogi breaths. Then on your next inhale, we're going to push up and kind of go back into that up dog cobra position. It's kind of just like a little gentle little flow we got going here. And then exhale back into child's pose. We're just going to do that a couple times. Just some nice, mild, lovely little warm-ups here. Then again, inhale, push yourself up, move through tabletop. Exhale, cobra. And then on your next inhale, curl your toes. Exhale your hips to the sky for downward facing dog. Here, maybe your legs are a little bit straighter. And maybe not, that's totally okay, but your body should be a little bit more used to this pose now. So on your next inhale, bring your right leg to the sky, 3-legged dog. Exhale, send your foot through the center of your hands, releasing your knee to the mat, and find yourself in a low lunge. You can stay here in low lunge. You can bring your arms up. And if you want more of a hip opening here, you can bring your hands inside your right foot and open up to a lizard pose. So toe heel your foot out to the right corner of your mat, or not the corner, the right side of your mat. And then if you want a little more, you can come down to your forearms. So just breathe here. Three breaths here. I know sometimes these hip opening poses can be a little challenging, so just kind of notice what you notice. Let your jaw be released from tension. Let your forehead be relaxed. Breathe into your right hips, getting that nice, beautiful opening of your right hip. If you're at home and you have a block, your forehead can come onto a block here. Or you can make a little fist and let your forehead rest on that too. One more breath. Then if you're in a lounge lizard, gently bring yourself up. Toe heel your foot back to the center. Slowly inhale yourself up so that you're in low lunge, hands up. And from here, you can do a back bend or you can stay just like this. But if you do want a back bend, you can open up here, let your head fall back. Your arms can be goalpost, angel wings, or you can clasp behind your back. So stay here for 3 breaths. Keep breathing. Inhale, slowly come up. And then exhale. This is an invitation to do a half splits here. You can drop back your sit bones on your left heel. Your back can be hunched. Stay here and breathe. One more breath. And then back into your low lunge for just a moment. And then step your right foot back and do a flow if you want, or skip the flow. But if you are flowing, lower down on an inhale. exhale up into an upward facing dog or a cobra. And then let's exhale into a child's pose here. So send your hips back. Inhale, push yourself up. And then exhale, come back into that up, supported up dog. Just a little sweet little vinyasa here. And then come back up into tabletop for a minute. Curl your toes. Exhale your hips to the sky. Downward facing dog. Find your breath here. Reground. And then inhale your left leg to the sky, three-legged dog. Exhale, send your foot through. Drop your knee. So you're in a low lunge. You can stay here in low lunge. Inhale your arms up. Do a little back bend. Or you can open up to a lizard pose. So if you want lizard, hands inside your left foot. Toe heel your foot out. And if you want to deepen into this lizard, you can lounge your lizard and come onto your forearms. Wherever you are, just stay here for 3 breaths. Make them nice and long and nourishing. This side might feel a little more tense or maybe a little easier. Again, just kind of pay attention to what you're feeling. Unclench your jaw. Let your eyebrows and forehead be relaxed. And send some love to your left hips. Just one more breath. And then inhale to bring yourself up. Toe heel your foot back to the center. Inhaling up into your crescent warrior. And then another option for a back bend here. So you can open up your arms and just let your head fall back. And that can be that. If you want more, go for it. Otherwise, just stay right here for 3 breaths. You're in a back bend, slowly bring yourself up. And then again, an option here to do a half splits. So just kind of drop into your right heel. Stay here for 3 breaths. Let your toes be pointing up. They can also be extended too. You can kind of do a little movement back and forth, flexing and extending, waking up your calf muscles. And then inhale back into your low lunge for just a second. And then send your foot back and do a vinyasa flow if you want, or you can just go right into a child's pose. But exhale, breathe out for your upward facing dog. And then exhale, down dog. Again, down dog here, we kind of just re-ground and find our breath again. Let your fingers and your toes be spread nice and wide. And then inhale your right leg to the sky. Exhale, send it through. And we're going to open up to a warrior 1. So your left foot is at a 45-degree angle. Make sure you feel nice and stable below. We're going to stay here for 5 breaths. So inhale your arms up. You can also rotate your pinkies so they're facing towards each other. Let your heart be open. Maybe inhale to kind of sink into your right knee a little bit more. Exhale, reach a little. Maybe your gaze is up. Maybe not. Maybe just staring straight ahead is fine too. But if you want a little more of a challenge, you can kind of look up a little bit. Just keep breathing here. Getting all the muscles in your legs nice and stretched. Your core is active. Your heart is open. Your breathing is everything. So just keep breathing. One more breath. Then exhale, kind of turn your heel in and open up to a warrior 2. So you might want to adjust your footing a little bit so your heel is kind of center of the inside of your left foot. Then let your shoulders be relaxed. Maybe your gaze through your right fingertips. So stay here for 3 breaths. Let your inner thighs are very active right now. So if you feel kind of like a burning, that's good. Now straighten your leg and we're going to reverse triangle. So your right leg is straight. Your left hand can be holding your left leg. Reverse triangle. Stretching your right rib cage. One more breath. And inhale, come back with your warrior 2 arms and shorten your stance a little bit as we set up for triangle. So inhale, arms out. Then exhale, start to reach, but keep your hips still till you can't reach anymore. And then you drop down into your triangle. So while you're in triangle, kind of let your chest and heart be open. Your right hand can be on your shin. Your gaze can be looking up or it can be looking down, whatever feels stable for you. Stay here and breathe. One more breath. Exhale, come back out. Drop back into warrior 2. Stay here and breathe. You can stay in warrior 2 for a couple breaths, or if you want to drop into an extended side angle, you can do that as well. Inhale, come back into warrior 2. And then optional flow here, so you can cartwheel your hands down. You can skip the flow and just go right into a child's pose. Or inhale to lower, chaturanga. Exhale, up dog, heart opening. And then back into your downward facing dog. Breathe here, take 3 nice breaths in down dog. Try to release something here. And then inhale your left leg to the sky. Exhale, send your foot through. Angle your right foot at a 45-degree angle. You can keep your hands down and you come up into warrior 1. You can keep your hands on your hips for stability. And when you feel stable, you can bring your arms up. We're here for 5 breaths. So kind of lean into that, let your left knee at a 90-degree angle. Reach a little higher. Again, pinkies can be turned towards each other. Inhaling through your nose to reach and exhale to sink. Just 2 more breaths. And then exhale, open up to warrior 2. So adjust your footing. Sink into your left knee. Arms are wide open. Gaze is through your left fingertips. Stay here for 3 breaths. Feeling that fire in your quads and your thigh muscles. One more breath. And then straighten your leg and reverse triangle. Reaching your left arm all the way up and back. Inhaling to reach more. And come back with your warrior 2 arms. Walk your feet a little bit closer as we set up for a triangle. So inhale, reach, reach, and try to keep your lower half still until you cannot reach anymore, and then drop into your triangle. For me, it feels good to look up at my right fingertips. I love feeling that stretch, but if that's not good for you, you can just keep your gaze down on your feet if you need a little support and balance. Let your chest be open here. Arms are nice and wide. One more breath. Exhale, then inhale to come out. Drop back into a warrior 2 for 3 breaths. And again, option for extended side angle. You can also bind here if you want to bring your arm behind your back for a half bind. If a full bind is in your practice, go for it. Otherwise, just stay in your extended side angle for a couple breaths. And then inhale back into warrior 2. And then optional flow here, or just find yourself in child's pose. But if you're flowing, exhale your left leg back, high plank. Inhale to lower. Exhale up in cobra or up dog. And then exhale, sit back into a child's pose here. It doesn't have to be wide knee child's pose. You can have your legs together here if you want. Just whatever's comfortable. When you're ready, slowly come out of that and come into a tabletop. And I'm going to cue us into a pigeon pose. So if you want to do normal pigeon, just bring your left leg out and bring your left knee towards your left hand for pigeon. If you want a modification, you can lay on your back. So if people want to lay on your back, just do that and I'll help you get into the pigeon on your back. Otherwise, if you're a normal pigeon, you can stay right here and then you can lower yourself down. It's also a good place to put like a block under your right hip if you have a block at home. So just stay in your pigeon, let your forehead relax. Just stay here for 3 breaths. If you're on your back, bring your left ankle over your right knee and then kind of walk your right heel closer to your sit bones. And then from here, you can reach your hands to clasp the back of your right knee, kind of like threading the needle through your little leg space. So that's a figure four. That's a modified pigeon kind of. But for the other sleeping pigeons, I know that this pose can be really intense. So just kind of just let yourself fall into that intensity. Just know your limits. Just know what feels good. Take 3 breaths here, but 3 yogi breaths. So technically like 30 seconds here in this pose. Now inhale and slowly push yourself out of pigeon here. Maybe do a little heart opening. And then to release yourself, just pick your leg up and you can kind of like shake it around if you need. And then we'll set up on the other side. So right leg out and then bring your right foot towards your left hand and slowly just let yourself melt into this pigeon pose. And again, if you need to do pigeon on your back, that's perfectly fine. You will get the same benefits as you would doing it lying on your belly. So if you want to kind of let your forearms hit the ground and just melt into this right hip opening pigeon pose. Again, stay here for 3 breaths. So in yogi terms, 30 seconds here. Take one last breath. And then gently push yourself up. And then from here, just stay on your seat and let your right foot come on your inner left thigh. And we'll just do this last pose to finish up separate leg stretching. So let your sit bones both be flat on the ground. And then inhale your arms to the sky. Clasp your fingers. Exhale, turn over, hunch your back, and grab the back of your foot. Let your heart be more towards your knee, and then you can maybe push into your hands. Maybe your forehead drops to your knee. And then inhale to come out of this, kind of swoop your hands over like a rainbow, and then just switch sides. So inhale your arms up, clasp your hands, exhale, turn over, pick up your knee, and then kick into your hands here. Kind of let your heart turn towards the right side here. And inhale, come right out of that. And then we're going to transition to our backs. Time goes by so fast. So just slowly, if you need any other pose, like maybe you want to do a fish pose before you get onto corpse, you're on your elbows and your head is dropped back. Just gently let yourself come out of that. Walk your elbows out. Let one vertebrae down at a time until you're flat on your mat. Take up as much space as you want. If you're in a rush, feel free to go. Otherwise, if you have a couple minutes to spare, Shavasana is the most beautiful part of yoga. So take this if you can. Just let your body be open. Let your eyes be closed. Your feet be pointing out. Let your heart slow down here. Let your breathing come back to a nice, calm space. Just letting yourself be still and silent. You're safe. You're at peace. Your heart is beating gently. And slowly start to make some movements with your toes and your fingers. Try not to rush here. And then maybe turn onto your right side. So your head is resting your arm. You can keep your eyes closed and slowly, gently push yourself up into a seat. Again, your eyes can be closed here. We will close practice together in a seat. Maybe bring your hands to your heart. And let's all take a breath together as a community. So inhale through your nose. And then exhale. I bow to all of you. Thank you so much for sharing space with me and your practice with me. I hope you have a beautiful, beautiful Friday. Namaste.